So let's actually I forgot to share the like a sample data file with you guys, but I will make sure I will share it after this session. Okay. So let's open the Power BI. So whenever you open Power BI desktop, right, you will be like in this screen where you have the option to like open the blank report or connect to certain like frequently used data sources like OneLake, Excel workbook, SQL Server. These are like all Microsoft products. That's why they keep it in the like entry screen itself. And then you have these get data from other sources as well. This will give you it will show you like all the available compatible data sources with Microsoft Power BI. And if you see here, right, there are segregations. Like by default, you will be in the all mode where you will see all the compatible data sources. There are like plenty of data sources. Okay. There are, and they further segregated them into files, database, Microsoft Fabric related ones, and then Power Platform, Azure, online services, and other. So let's go one by one. So all the file related things like Excel file, CSV, text, XML file, JSON, all this, even you can connect to PDF also. Let's assume that you have a kind of a sales report or something generated by a certain team using like PDF, and it is circulated across the company, and you want to generate a report on top of it, right? So you can take that PDF, and if it has some data in a certain tabular model, right, tabular format, right, it will try to read that also. Okay. But most frequently we will be using Excel, and then in some cases we'll be using XML and JSON as well. Okay. And even from SharePoint folder also you can connect and access your files. And here, one more important thing is this folder. Let's assume that you have a, let's assume that you have monthly data like coming to you. Okay, you want to automate the process. Like every month, you don't want to connect to the different files, right? You can connect to a folder, and if all the files inside that folder is in similar structure, right, it will kind of combine them and load it as a single source for you. So you can do some transformation and keep it as a single source, so that right in future if there is a new file for a month, right, you can automatically it will get automatically updated with a refresh. Okay, I will show you these examples in live as well. And database comes into picture when you work in with enterprise level reporting, because in small companies or small let's say even in college level, right, your data might be in Excel or SharePoint, those kind of things. But when you go to any enterprise level reporting, it will be any one of the databases only, because Excel cannot handle more than a few millions record, if I'm not wrong. There is like exact like row limit. Okay. So that's where, like, for a huge databases, like huge data set, right? They go for the structured databases. And on top, you see SQL Server, because Microsoft products will be always shown in the top, followed by the other vendors like Oracle, mostly used in finance side, and then we have MySQL database. So difference between SQL Server and MySQL is like SQL Server is Microsoft product. MySQL is a kind of an open source product. Okay. I would also advise you to learn basics of SQL. Okay. There are good websites like V3 School and other things. Like there are plenty of sources in online actually. You can where you can access a sample database and write your code and test it in the online itself. Like you don't need to install things to learn. Okay, but it's very important you have basic knowledge of SQL. Otherwise, right, it would be a bit difficult to land in a job just by knowing Power BI. You don't have to be expert, but at least you should have the basic query knowledge, basic join knowledge, how to put where condition, how to write a group by statement, those kind of simple things, right? You should know. Any queries or questions in this segment?
No, no,
Okay.
sir.
And then this is a actually new terminology. Like Microsoft Fabric came into picture just a year back. Okay, before that they used to call this as a Power. It used to be under Power Platform itself. Okay, now they have rebranded it as Microsoft Fabric. And here you see, right, Power BI semantic models. Traditionally, this used to be called Power BI data set. Okay, I will explain you in later, like how it will be useful and what it is exactly. And then we have data flows, data marts, all these things, right? Whatever we create or have in the Power BI service, right? That's called all these elements. I will show you when we go into the service how these elements are created and how to consume these things. And some of these things are like advanced one, like Power BI semantic model data flows are very common stuff, and these are data engineering, data warehousing stuff. Okay, and if you know these things well, right, you can land as a kind of a complete developer where you can do the data visualization as well as data engineering stuff. Okay. And Power Platform, so like we used to have a legacy data flows and these kind of things. I think going forward they might even remove this and keep everything under Microsoft Fabric itself. But don't get confused by thinking like this is a bit complex. We'll go slowly. We'll start with the basic stuff. As we progress, right, we will move to the more advanced stuff. And then it's up to you to, let's say, if you are interested in certain thing, right, then you can explore more on it and then learn it in advance, because the scope of this training is limited to Power BI and few more advanced things. Not everything would be complete like covered, because that would take like 2 months also. And everything related to Azure is kept as a separate thing. So again, Azure is a Microsoft product, and then we have online services. So again, here we start with the Microsoft stuff, and then we go into the competitors, Salesforce, Google Analytics. Let's assume that I want to I create YouTube videos, and let's say I want to track the performance of my website, right? I can connect to the Google Analytics, and then I can connect to my account. It will fetch the data related to my this thing. So it's like that's why people prefer Power BI, because it's easy to connect to different business entities. I will also show you maybe in later session with my website itself, right? We can do a small report as well. And Adobe, right? Adobe and Google are competitors. Like both does the web analytics analysis. Okay. And it's important to know these stuffs also, because let's say you land in a job and there they ask you to work on website tracking related stuff, right? You should know like what are the things related to that, and what are the KPIs are used there. So you should have like basic understanding of most of the things, so that, right, you would be in a better position to like handle these interviews and crack them. I will give you one live example. 4.5 years back, right, when I had a second round of or third round of interview with Fractal, they asked me a general question like, how do you report the performance of your telecom company? And since I also invest in stock market and all, I used to read lot of these AGM report, this annual reports they give, right, for each company. So like that, I used to read about this Airtel company as well. And there they, what are the key metrics they measure, right? What is the average revenue per user? What is the total customer, and what is the customer, like how many customer left that quarter, those kind of things, right? It became bit handy for me to talk, because I have read about this. Okay, if you just stick to your academics and this thing, no, then there won't be any differentiator between you and your fellow students, right? So you need to read about whatever, right, is important, and you feel like interested. You should read all those things. That might come handy in future, and you won't know that while reading that. Okay, this will be useful for that. Like that only life works, right? So just read whatever you find useful, or always, yeah, learn about other stuff as well. And even LinkedIn also you can connect if you have the premium account. So those kind of restrictions would be there. And yeah, you can go through all these things, and then go in deep on the things which you find a bit what to say, curious, right? Then you can Google about it, and then ask ChatGPT about it, and then you can learn further. And other stuffs are like whatever that cannot be grouped here would be under the other stuff. Like you can connect for especially for statistics students, right? You can do perform like advanced statistical analysis using the R script, and then implement that end result inside Power BI. I have done I think 8 years back correlation analysis. Okay, and then that result I directly fetched into Power BI using R script, because I was more comfortable using R during that time. But now I almost lost the touch. But yeah, you can actually, especially for you to, right, you can explore these things like R script, Python script. These things you should explore. And I will also help you if you get stuck, right? We can collaborate, and we can work on them. So these are the like this is like the data sources which are compatible with Power BI. Any doubts here? Okay, and wherever you see beta, right, which are in kind of a trial phase, okay, which is not yet stabilized, that you should know. That might be a new plugin in like implemented. Okay. So today what we will cover, right? We will just go through the Power BI important settings and stuffs, and then we will go into the query editor. Okay. So whenever you open the Power BI blank report, right? Let's say from the desktop you open the blank report, you need to let's assume that you want to know what is the version of this report. You can go to the file, and then you can go to the this about section. So it will give you the information what is this exact version. So mine is November 2025. Okay, similarly you can also check for yourself, and then I will also give you one important information. So Power BI, right, maintains a blog which gives the information, right, for each month, right, what are the important updates. So you can go to this Power BI blog, and then you will see, right, what are the important things were released during that month. And once you go below, you will see like till January, you can see, right. So every month they announce certain features, certain new things. So let's go to January, like the current month. So and then let's see what are the things which are. So January, I think it's still in the this one. So let's go to the December. So in December, right, Power BI 2000 holiday recap, a decade of innovation. I think it must be good that you go through this, because I think they are discussing about like the overall 10 years journey. So you will also have a better understanding what are the things. So you can, if you are interested in reading, you can go through the like this stuff. If you are more interested in watching the video, right, there will be a YouTube link also from Microsoft official thing. So you can go through the video as well. Okay, it's important, right? Even in interview, right? They will ask you like, what are the recent updates? Even as an interviewer myself, I ask this kind of question to the candidates because it just get us know that okay, whether that candidate is really curious about learning the new stuff, whether they are dedicating their time, right? So these kind of aspects, right? The interviewer always watch out for. But to be frank, I am not following the recent things as and when it is happening. But whenever I start a new batch, right, I make sure I go through the like whatever the recent changes happen, right, so that at least I can give you some overviews. Because if you don't open Power BI for let's say 2-3 months, right, there will be something new changes in the overall screen itself. For example, right, when I started working in Power BI, only these three icons were there. These two icons were recently included. I think this DAX was included 6 months or a year back, and this TDML was included just a couple of months back. Okay, and I know about this DAX stuff, but this TDML, right? I know what it does, but I need to learn about it in detail so that right I can cover them also in our session. Okay, like that learning is a continuous process. It's not like okay, I learned Power BI from this training and you can like stop it. No, you need to keep learning even after joining in the job also. You need to keep learning. That only will give you the additional advantage compared to the other fellow stuff. Okay, so make sure like you like go through these things like blogs, and then and I will also suggest a few YouTube channels which are very good in explaining some complex stuff. Don't think that I won't cover the important stuff. It's like add-ons, right? I will give you the basement and then you need to build on top of that to have a better prospect. Okay, so let's now look into the other important steps. So again, go to the file. Okay, again go to the file, and then the things which you see here are like normal things which you see in any Microsoft applications like Word or Excel, anything, right? You will see the similar stuff. Okay, and the important things are in the options and settings. Okay, this is the more important stuff. Go to the options and settings. Click on the options. And then you will find a long list of items. Okay, and you will see, right, there are two groups here. One is global, another is current file. So whatever changes you do under the global will be common for all the Power BI files which you open in your system. Okay, whatever you do under the current file will be applicable only for this particular file. Okay, do you understand the difference?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go one by one. Okay, so the first thing, right, the data load type detection. So whenever you connect to any source and then load the data, right, whether you want Power BI to automatically detect the data type and then assign it, right, based on the sample. Basically Power BI tries to detect the data type based on top 200 rows. Okay, so let's say you have a column like even in our sample data, right, it's basically a sales data. In that we have like t-shirts, like kind of accessories, all those things. We have a column called size. Okay, in that size, initial records are like 38, 40, kind of a normal things. But after 200 rows, right, there are values like XL, L, those kind of values. So Power BI will assume based on the top 200 rows that, okay, this data has only numeric thing. So it will assign that column as a numeric column. But later when you load the data, right, it will throw error saying that these many records are having a error because of the data type mismatch. right? So ideally, if a column has both numeric as well as text, right, you need to assign that column as a text column, because text column can hold a numeric value, but numeric column cannot hold a text value. Is it clear?
So,
Okay. That's why, right? If you don't want that to detect at all and you want to like assign it by yourself, right? You can change it to never detect column types and headers for under unstructured sources like that, right? You can change it also. Okay, and then you have like background data, allow the data preview to download in background according to each file's setting. Data preview download so these are all right, the way like how you want your data to be loaded, all those things. And then like here you can mention, right, parallel loading. Like if you keep here like only one, right, what will happen? At a time, only one table will load, that will complete, and then the next table will start loading. Okay, but if you but here by default it has taken 14, means at once it will load all the maximum 14 tables. After that, if you have let's say 20 tables, the next 6 tables will be loaded this one. So the default number is 14. We recommend not going above 30, which means, right, then Power BI will get will face issue like if it goes beyond 30. So always go by default things, and if you know about the stuff, you can change these settings as well. Like you can change, let's say I don't want always 14 tables to be loaded in parallel, I want it to be only 10, means you can change it to 10, then at a time only 10 tables will be loaded. And how much memory you can use per simultaneous evolution, right? So it's by default it's 432 MB, but you can increase also, right? If you want things to be loaded bit faster, you can increase. And Power BI also kind of saves cache memory, like how whenever we browse something, Google stores like our browsing history and then our password, those kind of things. Like similarly, Microsoft also saves these informations. And if let's say it goes beyond certain amount, right, then it's better you clear that thing. But only problem with clearing that cache is like, let's say you connected to a file and you have given the passwords once, right? The next time when you come back, those password stuff will be gone. Again, you need to enter the credential. So that's what this cache thing will do. And here you can set the maximum. Like beyond this, it will automatically delete the older cache and then keep the recent one. So these are the some of the important settings, and you can also go through other stuffs. Okay, and for certainly for R scripting and Python scripting, right? You need to install like R, and then you need to give the correct path, all those things, right? The initial setup you need to do properly to start using the R scripting and Python scripting. So you can watch some YouTube videos for exactly like to know how to do it, or even you can click on this learn more or how to install or these things are there, right? So everything is there to read. It's just that you need to be curious enough to go to the settings and then learn them. And so this is all related to security, and then this is related to privacy. So this privacy comes into picture. Let's say you don't want one system to talk to another system. Let's say in your Power BI report you connect to a Oracle system as well as a Azure system, right? And you don't want those systems to interact with each other, those kind of things you want to write. So you can have those settings set here, or even at a data like table level also we can set those settings. And if you give always ignore privacy level settings, right, it will ignore these settings. And then regional settings, like by default, right, our we will be using the default thing. But some of my clients, right, those who are from European region, they have their own language installed. Like whenever I see their report, right, options will be in like Italian. So and then some people also use Spanish. It's but you can ignore it. Like in case in future, if you are working with multilingual audience, then you can look into this. So these are the some of the things, and the most important thing you need to know about is the preview features. I told you, right, every month Power BI kind of releases a new stuff, and then they also release it as a beta version, and then you can explore it for some time. And once you are comfortable, you can and then once it is stabilized, right, Power BI will make it as a generally available thing. And whenever you want to explore certain things, right, you can check that. Let's say I want to use the shape map visual. Okay, I can use click on that, and then I can give okay. So what it will do is it will you have enabled one or more preview feature that requires restarting Microsoft Power BI. These changes will take effect after you restart the application. So basically, we need to give okay, and then you need to close the Power BI file and then open it again. Then only that change will start reflecting. So now let's go and check whether that that thing has been in place or not. Go to the options and settings, options. And then let's go to the preview features. So now you can see, right, the shape map visual is now by default enabled. So whichever things you enable here, you can you will always see them enabled in the whenever you open it after you closing it for the first time. And if you are not sure what a particular thing does exactly, right, you can always click on the learn more. It will take you to the blog, exact blog, and then you can learn about it, and then you can come back and implement it. Okay. So yeah, basically this is important because some of the preview features, right, we will be kind of trying to explore, right? So during that time, you can like enable this checkbox, and even sometimes, right, you may not want to use certain things, right? In that case, you can uncheck them, so that will give you your old way of working. And other important thing is save and recover. Power BI, right, always auto saves based on the information you give. So here, right, by default, every 10 minutes, the working file which you have, right, it will auto save in a location which you are giving. So by default, in my case, right, it is saving in the OneDrive documents folder. Okay, but I can change the location. Also, I can change the timing. Also, I can like disable this also. Let's assume that I myself save the file, right? So I don't want this, means you can ignore this also. And then it will you can also see, go to this for thing, and it will show like whatever files you have, right, will be shown here. Since this is a new laptop which I got just a few weeks back, right, that's why you don't see much of the things here. And mostly, right, I try to clear the cache also. Like whenever even in Excel or anything, right, when you don't save a file and you shut down your laptop, right, when you come back, it will ask you whether you want to reopen the auto saved file. Similarly, in Power BI also, it will ask in the top. If you give okay, it will keep it in the position. If you give no, it will automatically delete it from the location. Okay, and this is very, very important. Let's say you work in a very critical project, and even small changes, right, is critical, and you don't want to lose your work. Make sure you enable this option. Even you can reduce it to 5 minutes, so that every 5 minutes this will be saved. Okay. Any doubts till now? Okay. If no doubts, we will continue. And then we have the report settings. These are like report level, like how do you want the UI to be looking? So those are the things. And then we have the Copilot. Okay. So I cannot use Copilot because I don't have the license to do that. Okay. I need to enable it first in the service. I think I need to pay something and buy it. I will see if I I will see whether if it is needed, right? Maybe I will go ahead and buy so that I can also explore it. I always uh, how to say spend on like learning stuff, so because it will come in handy, because if it is somewhere free to explore, you can explore, that would be the first option. But if it is not, then it's kind of an investment only. Yeah. So that's on the global, and this is kind of a subset of the same, but just that you will have a kind of a limited things. Okay, so this is one of the important option in the data load, right? In the current file, you see, right, this auto detect new relationship, and then this auto detect relationship, right? What it does is, let's say you have two tables. One is a customer table, another is a customer location table. Okay, in both the tables we have the location ID. Okay, so based on the column name itself, it will automatically create the relationship. Okay, if you enable this option. But in some instances, you may not want to enable this option at all. Reason being, it will sometimes create a unnecessary relationship. Let's assume that you have a column named index. Okay, right? Index is nothing but having a certain, let's say you have seven different states. You have, let's say, one assigned to Andhra, two assigned to Karnataka, three to Tamil Nadu. Okay, and then you have another table where you have departments. Let's say statistics department assigned to five, English one, like that. You have another table. And since these column names are same, right? Index in both the table. Power BI will kind of create a automatic relationship between these two tables, which is unnecessary, and it will create lot of issue in your report. Okay, so either you disable this option and create the relationship manually, or if you have this option in place, make sure you validate the relationship once, and make sure it's all proper. Okay, there is no unnecessary relationships created. We will go in detail, right? When we go into the data modeling stuff, I will show you how to create relationship, how to modify. So we'll go in detail while discussing about that stuff. But for now, I'm just explaining you where to find what in the settings page. So that's all on the options stuff. Is it all clear, or do you want me to explain something again?
Clear.
Okay. The initial sessions would be little bit more technical and boring, but see, that's what differentiate maybe my training from other trainings, because like in you might have seen lot of ads also, like 99 rupees learn Power BI. Okay, so what they do now, they will just drag this thing and then put some data. Okay, this is Power BI. That's it, right? That won't help you much, like if you want to what to say, like let's say if you are a citizen developer and you just do a drag and drop, that is sufficient. Like you can cover that in within 2 hours also, you can cover. But if you want to be a techie, you need to know about all these technical details also. Okay, so now let's get started with our first data. So I want to get a Excel data source. So either I can directly click here, because we have this Excel, or put here Excel now, like because it's most frequently used. They kept it explicitly outside. But if you want to like go from here also, you will see here, or even you can go to the more. There also you will see Excel in the top. So all these places you can. Excel is kind of there everywhere, but for other sources, you may need to go to the get data and find it there. So the frequently used ones are kept it explicitly here. So I will use the Excel workbook, and then I will go to the, so you need to know, let's say you have your source file in downloads, right? You can open in downloads. So mine is in this Amrita University demo data. I will share this file with you people today, so that you can also start practicing during the daytime or in the evening time when you have some time. I strongly recommend you practice whatever I teach on that day, right? you practice them, otherwise you will lose it, and then later on, right, you may need to go through the recording again and then practice, right? It's always better you practice on the same day whatever I am teaching, and then click open. So by default, right, it will show all the tables which are present in the Excel file. Okay, the tables are nothing but the each sheet in that particular Excel. Let me open that Excel and show you that first before connecting here. Okay, or I will open it. Mm. So this is the Excel file, and so we have these many sheets starting from calendar. Calendar is the first sheet, and then we have customers, product, territory, sales, pivot, dim category, dim product subcategory, and then we have the dim subcategory. These are the tables we have. Okay, and we'll go one by one. So calendar table gives you the all the like calendar related information, like a date, and then what is the date number. Day number is like, so basically here they're keeping from Sunday to Saturday. So Sunday starts with one, and then like you can change these things also. I will also show you later, like you may not even need this table at all from Excel, because Power BI you can create your own calendar table with the small code. I will show you how to do that later. But for now, let's try to understand exactly what this Excel file has. Okay, so basically this sheet has all the calendar related information. The next sheet has all the information related to customers. Okay, so customer ID is the, like customer key is the unique ID which is like unique for each customer, right? Because customer name can repeat, but customer ID cannot repeat, especially for a common name like my name, right, Karthik. Whenever I go like study in any class, I will always find one or two Karthiks. Even in office also, I will always find some Karthik. That kind of name, some names are very common, right? So that's why whenever you deal with any data, you should have a unique identifier as a ID. Okay, and then we have other information related to customer right here, and then we have the products table. So here we have the product subcategory key, and it should actually start with the product key. So product key is unique here because there should be only one unique key for each product, but product subcategory can be repeated here because multiple products can be from a same product subcategory group. Okay, and then all the product related specifications are here. The size column which I was talking about earlier, right, is here. Okay, and then you have the territory information. So territory information has the geo this let's say like each customer might be belonging to certain territory, right? So that is kept here, and we have columns like region, country, and group. So basically regions are like, let's say here, right, mostly only for United States we have like a split of regions, but for other countries it's only one single region, and they are further grouped into different category like North America, Europe, Pacific. This is kind of a sample data only, but you can imagine for whatever you have. Okay, and then we have the actual transaction table here. So this is where you see the actual transactions, right? Let's say a customer A buys a product X on certain date, and what was the price of that product, what was the discount involved in it, all those information, right? So basically this is called the fact table, and then this is the transactional table. So I asked you to learn about RDBMS concept, right? So you will find these things there, like what is fact table, what is dimension table. Okay, so till now whatever we seen, right, these four are dimension tables, and this is the fact table. Okay, please make a note of these things. These terminologies are very, very important. This pivot is not at all related to this data set. I have created this manually to explain you the specific transformation which are possible in Power BI, like how to do a pivoting, how to do a unpivoting, right? Those things we will cover in the tomorrow session. So for that purpose, I have created this dummy data. And then we have product category and product subcategory. These two are again the dimension tables related to product table. Okay. Are you clear on this data set, or do you have any questions or concerns here? Because you need to understand this data set well, because we will be predominantly using this data set for our analysis. Anyway, after this session, right, I will share you this Excel file with you so that you can also go through them, and then we can get started with actual data cleaning stuff from tomorrow. Transformation, like whatever I told you, right, the ETL operations. So extraction, transformation, loading will be covered in tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and maybe it will take at least 3 to 4 sessions to cover completely. So that's where you will learn about the Power Query Editor, and then slowly we will move into the Power BI desktop. Okay. So again, I want to explain one restriction. Let's ask. So here, right, here you can preview your tables, right? Currently, this is giving error. Reason being, whenever you connect to a Excel file, right, you should make sure you close that Excel file before you access it in the Power BI. So currently, I have the Excel file open with me. So if I close it, then automatically this error will go away. Okay, this you need to be make sure, like when even after you connected and loaded once, right? Let's say you want to refresh it once. In that case, you should make sure you close that Excel file before you refresh it in the Power BI, because you cannot have a open Excel file and then work in the Excel. That will create ambiguity, right? You might be updating something in the Excel while Power BI refreshes. So Power BI will get confused how to read that. That's why they made sure like it cannot read unless the file is closed. Clear? So now
Yes.
you can preview here, like what are the whatever we opened and checked in the file, right? That gives you the complete information. But here you will see a few rows. You can do the like kind of like you can understand like what are the columns you have and what are the stuffs you have in each table, and you can decide how many like sheets you want to load. So let's say I want to load. I don't want calendar. Let's assume that I will ignore calendar. Okay, I will take only customer, product, this pivot I will ignore for now, we'll cover later. Product, sales, and territory. Okay, these are the things which I want to load for now. So if you are sure that there is no issue with the data, it is a clean data, right? You can directly click on the load, it will directly load. But in case you want to identify if you have any blank values, errors, right? Or if you want to do some transformation, let's say you have your email ID and you want to extract the first name and last name from the email ID, right? Those kind of transformations. Or let's say you have a country name and you want to get the abbreviation. So those kind of transformation, if you want to do, right, you can click on the transform data and then do your transformation, and then you can later load it. Okay, both the ways will work. And I depending on your scenario, you can choose whether you want to load directly or you want to transform the data. So for today we will click on load directly and see how it works. So now you can see, right, I have some issues in the my data set. If you see here, right, there are 45 rows, 45 errors in product table, but other tables are fine. Okay, and I want to check that error. So you can click on view errors. It will again take you to the Power Query Editor only. And it says, right, so it will exactly show you what was the error. So here it says, right, detected type mismatch. Okay. and added index, kept the filter, reordered columns. So it will just show you exactly the subset of your data where exactly you had the issue. So here the issue was on the size column, right? So it will give you size, error, right? And you can check what exactly is the error. You can check here. So it says yes. It was expecting a numeric value, but yes is not a numeric value. So it created a error. So what you can do, you can go to the product table and then fix this error. So even here it shows, right, small red color. Basically that means it has error. You what you can do, either you can remove the errors, right, by just clicking remove error, it will remove. But it's not ideal scenario, right? Because we need those sizes as well. The ideal scenario is to change the data type. So I can change from whole number to text. Then it will automatically fix the error issue. So now I will close and apply. It will again load only for the product table. Now there was no error at all. But still, if you go back to the query editor window, that old error thing will be there. So you can delete it because now there is no need for this thing. So you can delete it and close and apply. Okay, so we'll stop here and then I will leave the forum to you guys. Okay. Stop the recording also.